Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We get a list of 19 properties on the Toronto system, 2 more on the Oakville Milton system, and it's actually a really fun day today. There's a lot of good properties. We'll call this the best list of August so far. And so if you had a chance to enjoy this weekend, I know I did. I went to the cottage with my youngest daughter, and here's a shot of us goofing around. And my wife stayed home with her youngest, who is a little bit sick. So it's funny, you take two siblings, put them apart, and they both act like dream children, and then you put them together and they're just, it's all chaos ensues. So it's like fighting fish. Anyway, let's get started. The first thing I do on this list is I click this price button here, order them from low to high, so it's a little bit more progressive and it just makes a little bit more sense when we're going through. So Costigan here is just under 1,000 square feet. It looks like there's 2 parking spots included. That's all we've got, which is the main reception area for the condo. So there's no shots of the actual unit. 329, so we're looking at about 330 a square foot. Maybe a little bit on the high side for this building, but we have seen some pretty decent unit sales. I mean, we've seen stuff up in the 350, 360 range that's 12 or 1,300 square feet. And so you do the math on that, and it adjusts a little closer to about $300 a square foot. So Attenborough is $380. Take this stuff off the fridge. It's, the photos here, and even though I said today's list is good, there's always a couple that are kind of interesting. So the moldings are there, the pot lights, the California shutters. But the way it's presented is just like there's like an ashtray on the on the dining room table. There's all these cords and crap everywhere. So it's unfortunate because I think there are a lot of good things about this home. They're really asking towards the high end of fare for this kind of unit here, but they're definitely not presenting it well. That's for sure. So dairy is $405. And so this one faces dairy. It might face Tremaine. It's on the outside edge, in which case you get nice views of the escarpment, and then you've got a little computer nook there. I don't know why they couldn't have opened that California shutter. I mean, it's not a big deal. No one's not going to buy it because of that, but it's the same thing as the previous. They're kind of homemade pictures, and one of these days I'll share with you a graph that a real estate company in the US studied homes with average pictures and homes with really good pictures, and they said what was the difference in selling price. And for a home in the 400 range, I think it was somewhere around, I think it was $4,000 or $5,000 extra that somebody would pay for a home with good photos. It was really quite fascinating. This one on Woodward is $419. It's a detached home, so detached at $419, they don't come around too often. It doesn't have a garage. It's kind of bunker looking, and it needs work inside. So I don't know. I think that this one, depending on how much work it needs, I mean, it's on an 89 by 66 foot lot, so it's even kind of a strange shaped lot. If it's rough inside, I think they'll have a tough time breaking 4, even though that's an attractive price range for a detached. There's still some limitations on that kind of property. It doesn't really have much of a bigger lot than something you'd find in the new area. So Cargill is $439. And so it's 1,510 square feet. Here's another thing I always tell people: get stuff out from beside your fridge because it always shows up in pictures. It's a little thing, but it's like how you take your photos, and sometimes even how you live in a house is different than how you sell it. So I think they'd probably have to have more upgrades in this one to be fighting around that 440 range. It looks nice, it's clean, it's tidy, but this model that we've seen, usually it has to really be playing at a pretty high level to get around the 440s. I mean, we're seeing semi-detached homes in the 440 to 450 range, same size as this one. So anyway, it's an end unit. Having all of these townhouses right here can kind of interfere with your privacy a little bit. Whenever I've shown homes in the past, and that situation's been there, people always feel a little bit uneasy. They're like, there's a lot of people looking at me from their bedroom windows. Agnew is 1,670 square feet of total living space. But if you go down to the room measurements here, you'll see that the basement is 11 by 18. So right away, you're eating up 200 square feet. So the upstairs is probably a little less than 1,500 plus the finished basement. That's the way I always like to kind of play it out in my mind is, let's figure out how much is attributable to the basement, because really that might value a home at $20 or $25 a square foot, whereas upstairs square footage could be $75 to $100 a square foot. It's far more valuable to have upstairs space compared to basement space. But the trend seems to be with builders, and a lot of agents are doing it too, is where they're saying total living space, including the basement. So they're almost trying to upsell the value of the basement versus really saying how much is on the upstairs floor. So Duncan is $459, and so we've got I believe this home is around 1,600 square feet, and you've just got your one main room here. That's the price you pay for having an open foyer like this. So you have a nice place to greet guests, everything's open, the windows kind of shine into the house, but you lose living space in the rest. The upgrades are good. This is called HDR photography, and I think it shows their colors off quite nicely. There's another shot of your front entrance there. So it's got the upgrades. It faces train tracks, and so that can be a bit of a drawback. The other thing that a lot of people, I like what they did in here, because they said direct access, backyard access from the garage. That's that door right there, and you don't have that door in the Mattamy homes. They don't. Mattamy elected to put more living space in their homes, but you actually have a right-of-way over your neighbors. If you're one of the inside towns, you can actually access your yard through the neighbors. So a lot of buyers get caught by that, especially with agents from out of town, because they just don't think of it. But if you have a gate in your backyard, the reason is because there's a legal right-of-way. It's not a condo, it's a freehold home, but you have a right-of-way over your neighbor's home to access your property. So I like how they did that, because it is, I think, a competitive advantage. You lose living space inside, but you gain convenience. You can bring your lawnmower right from your garage out to your backyard. So Seller's Path 3-story. These are usually about 2,200 square feet. They've got upgraded countertops here. It's actually a really nice floor plan. The only thing you're not getting with something like this is the backyard. So you have a double garage. They're going to show that. So you've got a deck above the garage, and then you've got your double right there, and then you can also potentially put a car outside on this little pad here. But yeah, that's it. That's all you have for grass. So if that's important to you, then it may not be the right home for you. But it is convenient, and it's very low maintenance, which is a positive. This one on Lederman is it's a Mattamy plan. What is it? Plan 2, actually. Plan 2, 1,380 square feet. I don't know if the color choices are really going to blow anyone away. We had the same model for sale, and it was actually far more impressive in terms of upgrades, and we even had a tough time selling that one. So much less of a price point. Earlier in the year, we had a pretty nice version of this home with a finished basement that sold at $490. So at $499, I don't know, it seems a little bit high to me. Asselton is $529, detached home, single car garage. So it's on the 30-foot lot. It could be one of a handful of models, but I don't know. To me, it's like one of the bunch. Here's another one on Dimont, 1,835 square feet. It's on a 34-foot lot. One of my favorite floor plans. It looks like it's got almost like a hand scraped or a real hardwood here. But it's a great floor plan. 3 bedrooms plus a loft upstairs. And yeah, you've got that, and then you go a little bit further, you get about $25,000 up, and what you get on this one is you get a finished basement. But here's the thing, finished basement with an apartment, is there a separate entrance? And the other thing is, is the parking going to be legal? So it's great that you've got a basement apartment, but you've only got a single car garage, single driveway. So is that going to be something that the town is going to green light? I don't know. It could be a little difficult. Nice finished basement apartments in this list. There's another one a couple homes from now that we're going to show as well. Farmstead is a Plan 5 corner, 1,638 square feet, I think. Tasteful colors, and they've done some stuff like there's even a bit of tiling on the wall here. It could be wallpaper. It kind of looks like tile to me. Modern finishes. You can see if you've got 2 beds here, they're probably grown out of the space. It is a 4-bedroom, but it's 4 smaller rooms, especially in a home that's only 1,638 square feet. They probably could have cleaned this room up a little bit and just tidied it, made it look a little more presentable, because the rest of the house actually looks like it has a lot going for it. Bessy trails of Quincy Corner, 574. They've got some nice pattern concrete here. The one thing that I think they're missing that would have really helped, first of all, there's an error because it's a double car garage, but this model is called a Quincy Corner. You can look it up, Mattamy Quincy Corner. It has a double garage. The first shot on this property has to be a double garage. I know that it's a nice front door. It's dressed up with gardens very well, but that shot has to be really clear that it's because there are single car garages that have this kind of layout. And so you have to be overt about that kind of stuff. Hardwood floors in the family room. And then they've got, it looks like laminate in the master. And then you've got some kids' rooms there. Window seat. That's probably an extra. That's probably the fourth bedroom there with a bunch of spaces for the kids to play. Very interesting. I don't know if this would narrow the hallway a little bit too much, but they've made the home look quite nice. You've got speakers down in the basement. This can be a nice setup because it's almost like a bar if you're not going to use a basement apartment. But this is a very well done finished basement. They put some money into this one. I think they're right in the right range. This model has sold all over the place. It's very difficult to price them. One of them last week had basically, they just kind of put it around this range and said, we're going to take offers on a certain day and just see what happens. And that, I don't disagree with that strategy at all. Nairn Circle 609. So this one's like 2,300 square feet. It's a corner. It faces Derry, so you get a bit of road noise here. But the street, the kids, it's very low traffic. The kids can ride around on their bikes outside. Separate living, dining. The family room's a little bit small. The kitchen, there are bigger kitchens in this price range. They put a lot of California shutters into this home. There is the chair room. And so this listing was out for a substantially higher price. And I think they've really kind of put it at a very aggressive price where they just probably want to get it sold. There's a little bit of a slope to the land here. So a bit of your backyard is a little unusable. You've got big basement windows here, but you're back on the green space, 2,300 square feet. It's certainly, there's nice finishes inside too. It's priced pretty well. I would say that this one definitely gets a thumbs up. And it appears like they're just ready to move, really. So maybe even a faster closing might even help them out. So Stevenson is 625, 2,400 square feet. It's a Mattamy home, 46-foot lot, which they don't even make anymore. So Stevenson, very nice street. I would say it's pretty, it looks good. The bedrooms on this one is something I really like. The bedrooms are all a really nice size. Dressing up with some light fixtures. If you go into the previous one on Nairn, you'll see that there's those old light fixtures that the builder's been using for 40 years. You buy a light for $100. Look at the impression difference. Imagine this room with just kind of a junky builder light. It changes the impression a lot. So there you go. Nice property, good landscaping in the back. We've talked about the fact that having a balance of about 50-50 green space to patio is probably your ideal mix. You don't get a great return on any landscaping, but it gives you a chance that you're going to appeal to the most amount of buyers. Hatton Crossing 664. I believe this one is somewhere between 2,600 and 2,800 square feet. This builder is known for putting lower cabinets here. The kitchen would look so much better if those cabinets were up higher. Things on top here, I find personally, I always recommend clients take them down because I just find that it's too cluttery in the kitchen. For showings, it's fine, but for pictures, it never seems to turn out really well. It's pretty obvious that they take pride in their home, and that's something you just can't fake. That's something that, and they play a lot of music, it looks like, down in the basement. Good size yard, 57 by 88 foot lot. With the finish, with the size of the home, it's probably in a pretty fair spot. Winter Crescent's about 3,500 square feet. I really like the floor plan here. This one's a very kind of personal taste. Mattamy put it as a model home, and I thought that was kind of risky because it's so different than any other Mattamy home that they've ever built. The kitchen overlooks a big family room here, and there's a coffered ceiling. It looks like they've got something built in there. I'm not sure if that's a little kind of surround sound system, or I'm not sure what that is. That's what it looks like, is maybe speakers. You've got a loft upstairs. The master bedroom's huge. Not sure how much grass is there, so that can interfere with someone's enjoyment. It's a 54 by 98 foot lot. It's one of the best streets in the whole neighborhood. It's on one of the biggest lots you'll find in New Milton for a regular sized lot. Mattamy did a 50-foot series where they had 100 feet deep. Anyway, no grass there. It could really interfere. I think it's priced really well at $719. I think it's quite aggressive. Mara Circle's $979. This home is almost 3,800 square feet plus a finished basement. Well over 5,000 square feet of space. Inside looks half decent. Nice finishes and upgrades. This one wasn't purchased that long ago. I remember the custom kitchen here, the dark cabinets. Anyway, yeah, basement. There's built-ins everywhere here. You've got a little sort of, ladies will love that. I love the fact that they put that in. And please see the virtual tour. The one thing that may interfere with a buyer's decision is the fact that it's this home right here, and you're backing onto the parking lot of Hawthorne Village School. So after school, before school, there's a lot of activity there. It's a quiet crescent right here, very low traffic. But yeah, the location to me probably isn't a real 10. And if you're asking almost $1 million in New Milton, the thing that people pay for over probably $850 is privacy. Is you got to have the privacy. And I guess you could argue that you've got it later at night and on the weekends, but backing onto a school is something that most people aren't super excited about. This one on Beaver is, well, first of all, it's kind of a strange looking house, right? It's a little bit bizarre looking. It's a bungalow though, so they bought this. I can look up what they bought it for. If you're curious, just email me. Flipped it, basically did a lot of work in this home. I think I even have the original floor plans, which is thanks to our friend Colin Best. So modern finishes, you've got your 3 bedrooms, there's 2 bathrooms here. I just think the price point is a little bit high for Beaver Court. I mean, this is, there's 2-story homes with a lot more square footage. The basement will be a little bit bigger because it's a bungalow, but I don't know, maybe they'll get it. I mean, a home that's really nice can, you can find that, but really at $575,000 or $600,000, you can get something in a brand new area, bigger lot, not shared driveway. That's something that could interfere with somebody's enjoyment there. I don't know. It's a little bit high. I mean, I could see this one maybe going high 4s. Maybe, here's the thing, is with the nice homes, sometimes the price surprises me. So we've got Valleyview here at $749. Definitely a treat. 74 by 115. You will hear a little bit of 25 because it's a little bit further. It's on the north part of here. Lots of upgrades and finishes on this one. I mean, they put a deck here. Look at the bar here. Like, awesome stuff. Lots of big trees around. You've got your pool here. So this is a real backyard oasis. It's lovely, beautiful. Not as much grass. So if you're into grass, it may not be the right one. Renovated kitchen here. It's a side split. So you've got these sort of half levels here, finished basements, some wood paneling, so a little bit of the old school charm. Walkouts from here. There's a couple walkout doors, and I really like it. I think this is a great home. I think there's a lot of nice finishes. Here's the thing, TV in the bathroom. How cool is that? Like, somebody is going to really dig this one. So they're holding back on offers. There's a little office downstairs, front porch, very friendly street too. They're holding back on offers until Sunday, August 10th. So if you want to have a look at any of this stuff, including this one on Valleyview, definitely let us know. 905-693-9346. And thank you once again for watching Milton Daily Homes.